Spoilers?
I am ready when you
Okay.
are.
Spoiler alert for Supergirl. We're going to talk spoilers now.
Yeah, here's our spoiler warning for Supergirl. Lock in.
You want to keep doing some positives?
Sure.
Okay.
One last thing before we get into spoilers. I'm so sorry. So sorry. What do you think of the cup?
Oh, the Supergirl cup?
We are the docking podcast. I'm glad to see an uncircumcised penis
Getting some representation.
cup or popcorn bucket sold at an AMC.
Yeah, it is a foreskin for sure.
It's like,
Did you see David Cornsweet's reaction to it?
of course.
That was really funny.
So
It's
funny.
like, I don't like that at all.
I understand what they're going for because they made the Superman one, which is the same thing with the cape.
Yeah, and it's her.
But
trench
it's
coat.
the trench coat, but the color of the trench coat is so bad.
It's skin. It is a penis.
It's so bad. It's that fleshy tone. Exactly.
It's got wrinkles in it.
It's bad.
Add some veins, dude.
It does.
It's weird. No. I'm
From the back-
I'm going to get it, but
Obviously. But from the back, I'm like, who approved it? But do you think it was on purpose? I don't think so.
I don't think so. But maybe. I think some intern saw that and was like, yeah, that's a penis, but I'm not saying anything. Or, that's a good idea. It's working. I want to know, we should have box office scores, but for popcorn. Like what's the best what's the most sold popcorn bucket? Is it Deadpool or is it the Dune one?
You are such a genius.
I want the
so right.
analytics on that.
What if it came out and it was Nosferatu is the best-selling popcorn
Yeah.
bucket ever? That would be so
Or the
interesting.
Ghostbusters Ghost Trap
Yes.
one, or what is it?
Yes.
AMC, let us know.
Yes. And I want to know the buckets that flopped.
Yeah.
This Pride Rock from Mufasa. Super cool, but it sold.
Wicked Bucket number 3 didn't do well.
Yes. What a great... this is why you're the boss. Anybody that works at AMC or Regal or something,
Reach out.
please give us the numbers if you have them internally.
They got to.
Now, spoiler warning for Supergirl. Sorry about that. Go.
Some more positives. So we talked about Millie Alcock's acting. She's great. David Cornsweet's amazing, obviously. Lobo is good. Had fun with that. Costume and creature design. That was cool. A couple more. Action is fun. You get a solid amount of it. And they're a little bit creative with it. I didn't say this in non-spoilers because I want to talk about there's the teleport fight in the bus when she is still affected by the red sun. So she's just kind of a normal person and she's teleporting all over the place. That was kind of fun. And then when she does get the yellow sun during that fight, she handles business. That was a lot of fun. The fight at the end when she's finally in the super suit, she's kicking butt in that. And then the one with Lobo, where they're trying to save all the girls who are running around. I had fun with that one too. So I like when they're at least a little bit creative. And I felt like the teleport fight checked that box for me at least. And you get a solid amount of it. I know in the bar one they kind of cut away from her and she's just kind of kicking butt off screen.
Yep.
But you see that in the trailer, so I kind of saw that coming. You want me to do another one, or you got one?
Please, go.
The Krypton backstory, I liked. I thought it was pretty well acted. It had some of the best lines. A couple of the lines I think I really, really liked. Because that was one of the first times in the movie where they started to give us a little bit more depth for either Ruthie or Kara. Because up until that point, and for most of the movie, this is one of my negatives, it's just kill the bad guy, save the dog. And it's but I leaned forward in my chair a little bit during that because we started to figure out a little bit why Krypto was so important. We see why Kara is different than Kal-El, and why it affects her a little bit more and why she's different than him. Ruthie starts to learn why Kara acts the way she does. So it was a good moment between them, and then the moment between her and her dad about living. She's like, I'm not leaving you guys. Are you out of your mind? And he's like, no, you living is us living through you. And Kara then uses that later to help Ruthie not choose violence and revenge. And I think that's good. I think wished they had leaned into it a little bit more, to be honest. But that was the first time where I felt some emotional depth, and I kind of leaned forward. I was like, okay, this is good. I like this. This was needed, and I like that.
To talk about in positives, the stuff with Krypton, The best scene in the movie is the Jor-El conversation, which is entirely in Kryptonian. And it is spectacularly written. It is spectacularly acted. And it is such a wonderful scene that I'm ready to say that it's easily one of my favorite scenes in a movie this year. And it is one of the better scenes in the entire DCU so far. Like when I think about the best scenes in the DCU so far, I think about a lot of scenes from Superman, but I absolutely think of the scene with Kara and Jor-El. It's just phenomenal. It's so well written. It got me emotional both times I've seen it. It's the best scene in the movie by far, and it is really nice because it's a scene that you don't see happen in the book. So it is something that they completely did for this movie, and I do think based on what you were saying, they really elaborate on the Krypton stuff more in this movie than they do in the book. And I think that that's a lot of fun, and it really screams to me that that's kind of the story that they wanted to tell more than the Ruthie revenge for her family plot that ends up taking much more of the focus of the movie. It's flipped in the book. In the book, that's the entire book. And then the Krypton backstory is like a single issue. It's not a lot. So I really loved that. And that's definitely my biggest positive of the movie. I'm glad you brought it up.
What else?
What do you... I don't know. If you want to keep going positives, keep going positives.
I'm done.
You're done? Mm-hmm. All right, great. What do you think about them making Zor-El essentially Jor-El? They have doubled down. Supergirl doubled down on Jor-El is a bad guy. They're like, there goes your brother's son, Kal-El, said to be the conqueror of worlds, as Krypton is falling apart and everything. Before we do the sliver of Krypton that we're going to live on, we see the baby go, and it's like, oh, there's your brother's son, the conqueror of worlds. They double down on Jor-El's a bad guy, and Zor-El is essentially the Jor-El that we know and love. That's the great ultimate father. What do you think about them doing that? I loved that decision in Superman. I know a lot of people hate it. I don't care. I don't care enough about Jor-El to have cared about that decision. And it makes for such a wonderful arc for Superman and such a wonderful ending for Superman with the video at the end. Oh,
so good.
It's incredible. So for you to reach that moment in the movie, you needed to make Jor-El a bad guy. So I don't care. And then you come in and give Zor-El this scene, which is the best scene in the movie, one of the best scenes in the DCU, that I don't care. But I know a lot of people are going to be upset about it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I hadn't really thought about it. Yeah, I guess.
Because that's the parent. Be good.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. You need to take care of people. You are going to go to a place. You're going to have enormous power. You need to take care of people. It's that's so good.
That's what Clark thought his parents were saying.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah, it was good for her. I liked that scene. That's the scene that I was talking about. That was very well acted and very well written. So I agree with you there. Yeah, interesting. That I didn't clock the line of "There goes the conqueror of worlds."
But you remember it.
Yeah. When it takes off for sure.
Yeah.
And then they basically make Zor-El Jor-El.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I like it.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. You know, when I first watched Superman, I felt a little uneasy about it because it is so different, and I was like, wow, a lot of Superman people are not going to like that, and that's fine. I get it. But I eventually came down on the side of you where I was like, yeah, I don't care enough.
It's worth it for that moment.
Yeah.
And then it gives so much more weight to his real parents. Like
who I care about
Kent,
more anyways.
Who you should always care about more. When they kill Pa Kent, it's going to be the most devastating thing ever.
Maybe they won't.
Oh, impossible.
It's not impossible.
Oh, I hope not. I can't wait.
I'm pretty sure there's long runs and long series with Superman where Jonathan Kent doesn't die.
Can't wait for Pa Kent to die.
You know, they might.
Can't wait.
Any other positives?
No.
Okay. The negatives are tough.
I mean, I have like positives technically, but they come with negatives.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's. We'll start with a more simple one.
Please lead.
Right. The positive was Lobo's awesome. The negative is he didn't need to be there. His character is kind of just there to be there.
Yep. He's there because Jason Momoa has always wanted to play Lobo.
And they wanted
it's
to put him in.
It's such an obvious casting choice. Jason Momoa texted James and he was like, well, there's no room for you in Superman. We're putting you in Supergirl. That's exactly why he is in the movie.
Yeah, he's got that.
He is not in the book.
Yeah.
It's just...
He's there for the bar scene, and then he's there for the girls running around because he's getting his bounty, and then he's there at the end, which they don't even really explain all that well.
Nope.
They captured him somehow.
How, by the way?
How? And then he said something along the lines of like, oh, it was all part of my plan. I'm laying a trap. What trap? She just got out herself and then let you out. And then he also saves Supergirl, which is like a little annoying. So I'm glad overall he was in the movie because I found him entertaining, but I would have liked it even more if there was more of a point for Lobo to be in the movie, if that makes sense. So that's a negative attached to a positive.
I agree with you completely on that one. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I've got plenty.
Yeah, please. Just go. And I'll give you my input on them.
Supergirl, it felt very cookie cutter. There were some tropes and things that overall work, but they needed more depth for them to work better. Does that make sense?
It's especially frustrating. And again, I'm telling you, you've got me on a leash right now. Like I don't want to be like, I'm ready to go uninterrupted, but it is so unfortunate because the book does the opposite. There are so many tropes in this movie that is like the most boring way to tell this story. And you don't have that in the book. Like the ending of the movie, the whole thing with Kara being like, with Supergirl being like, Ruthie, do not kill him. Like, yeah, your life is your revenge line is great. But it's like, how often do we see that? Where Kara is killing people constantly, but like the whole point is like, no, don't kill him. Save yourself. You'll always regret it. That is such an overplayed trope, and that's not at all what happens in the book. It kind of is, but like very kind of. And it's like the juxtaposition. I'll give you another great example. It is a twist in the book. Crypto doesn't need to be saved. The medicine person saves Crypto, but Supergirl tells Ruthie that she's going on the journey with her to save Crypto. And then at the end, it is a twist that, Crypto didn't need to be saved. Supergirl did this for Ruthie. It's like this great everything. But like, then you come back and like Crypto was actually in danger. And it takes so much away from the story, in my opinion. Now, the movie is written that way. The movie is written that Crypto is actually in danger. But like, it takes away impact from Supergirl and makes her like a worse person for me. Even though it wouldn't really make sense if they did that twist at the end of this movie. It's still a choice that like you've changed that I'm like, why would you do that? Such an interesting juxtaposition. Like you're taking a big swing by doing that in the book. It's like such a, you know what I'm saying? How many times have we seen a movie where there's a clock for a character and they save them just in the nick of time? Like we've seen this a million times. What a great twist it would have been if it wasn't the case.
Yeah, I agree. That's very interesting. Very cookie cutter. A lot of them fit into this certain box, and then there were moments where they kind of broke out of that box, and we saw some good stuff, and I just don't feel like we got it enough. Who are these people? Like her dad made swords. We don't get. Should we care about them? She wants revenge. She announces that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times throughout the movie, which is kind of funny, but not funny enough. Why does he want the swords? Why does Krim want the swords? Just because they're the best in the universe?
That's a bit in the book, is the how often she repeats herself. So that's why they kept it in the movie. It's not nearly as funny in the movie than it is in the book. The thing with the parent, they changed a lot with the family. So her whole family doesn't die in the book. It's just the dad. And the sword thing, it's actually Krim's sword in the book. And so it has a lot more significance in the book. Because it was the sword that was like, that he stabbed her dad with, and he left it there. And so she's like, I'm going to kill you with the sword you killed my dad with. That's what it is. The whole subplot of, they're like farmers in the book. Like he's not a swords guy or whatever. So like you said, you threw that in there just so that Krim would go there because they changed Krim's story. He's not a brigand in the book. The entire time he kind of joins them. He's kind of somebody from their government that like checks to see if there are traitors in the kingdom. You didn't want to explain that, so you explained it that but the sword has no significance in this movie because you changed it, right? Because you made it from the dad or whatever. The backstory is way more tragic in the movie. But I don't care.
It doesn't land as much.
Exactly. I don't care. And throughout the movie, you don't get like the memories. You just get the memory at the end where she doesn't kill Krem. In the book, she like tells stories about her dad consistently. And it makes you feel so bad for her that she lost her dad. It's real, like the way, and she's got really Shakespearean dialogue in the book. So she's like, and when he held me and I weep now knowing that I will never feel the warmth of my father again. Like it's stuff like that in the Shakespearean dialogue of it.
It's interesting.
It makes it way sadder because it's like, you really feel the emotion with it where it's like, that's my point where it's like, I think that this like story without the context of the book, I would have enjoyed so much more, but I'm constantly like, why would you do it that way? Why would you do it that way? Another thing, you brought up the design of Krem, because he's like this hideous monster. Yes, it's a very a design that like sticks out to you, for sure. He's not a hideous monster in the book, and that kind of makes it scarier, that he's just a regular looking guy. He's actually very much a red-headed Green Arrow. Like he's got a beard and red hair, and he's got a bow and arrow, and he's got a sword. He's got swords and stuff like that, but it's like him being a regular guy. Now, I understand why they wanted to make him a hideous monster because he's such an awful person or whatever, but I think it's almost scarier if he was handsome. Imagine if he was handsome and he's doing all these awful things. The number one negative I have for this movie in terms of changes from book to movie, though, is, and you're going to find this interesting, I think The Brides is doing way too much, not in the book at all. The fact that they are these sex traffickers, they're this all-men race, so they rape these little girls. Obviously terrible, awful thing for an antagonist to do, an antagonistic force to do in a movie, especially a superhero movie. But the book doesn't do that at all. The way the book conveys how awful these people are is Kara and Ruthie are constantly a step or two behind the brigands. And so they're constantly finding planets that are just laid to waste. Like it is just awful. It's the scene in Mulan where they find that village and then there's no more music for the rest of Mulan. There's no more singing for the rest of Mulan. It's that times 3. They do that like 3 times in the book. And they didn't want to do that for some reason. So they just made them these like awful rapists. And it really ham-fists, like it's such a, using all these planets that are laid to waste, it brings such emotion out of Kara because Kara had to experience that with Krypton. But they did it to themselves with Krypton. But now it's this antagonistic force against Supergirl that is doing it to other people just for sport and fun. That is so much more awful of a story and so much connects more to our protagonist's story. It felt like so forced and shoehorned in because our main 2 protagonists are girls. And so these guys are doing awful things to girls. It felt so shoehorned in versus the story in the book that actually connects to her story.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, one of the other things I had written down under the cookie cutter thing is like, why is he, like, they made him so evil, right? They made him enjoy the killing. He killed these innocent people at the start. Now he's the sex trafficker. Like, he's basically Mad Max. Like, he looks like Mad Max. He rides around and stuff that's Mad Max. He has wives like Mad Max. Not Mad Max, obviously, the villain in Mad Max.
Fury Road, yeah.
But yeah, what he did is terrible. But like in the first scene when it happened, I was like, eh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the way you describe, I already care a little bit more about that because, like you said, it connects a little bit more.
Yeah.
Evil villain kills family. She wants revenge.
Yep.
That's basically all we got out of that because we didn't know any of the characters beforehand, and then even after Ruthie, that's basically all she is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a little bit of a reflection for Kara, and that's one of the positives that I like, that I wish they had explored a little bit more. But
they don't explore Supergirl's kindness nearly as much as I would have liked in this movie. And that comes from the movie being from the perspective of Supergirl instead of Ruthie. In the book, it is entirely from Ruthie's perspective. And so she's portraying Kara as like a god figure because she is, because of how powerful she is. But you wanted to tell this story from Supergirl's perspective, which I understand a little bit. But then by doing that, she's still very flawed in the book and still has things she needs to overcome. But the main arc is Ruthie's. When you do it this way, you take away a lot of her kindness. And I do think the scene on that planet, where she yells at Ruthie after the black family was murdered, and she's like, "I told you to stay put." Like, Kara's being very mean in that scene, and it doesn't make me like her very much compared to their constantly scenes in the book. In the book, Ruthie's family, they don't have a lot of water, so she doesn't know how to wash her hands. So there's a scene where Kara sits down and like teaches her how to wash her hands, and it's just such a small, beautiful scene. And it's like you don't have anything even close to that in this movie, where I kind of wish the DCU was taking this awesome big swing where like everything is going to be distinctly different. Supergirl feels completely different from Superman. Big risk because you're alienating audiences by doing that. But can we at least have like a through line? Especially if you're doing Superman and Supergirl. What's something that's so common between those two characters in stories that we're familiar with, whether it's comics or whether it's animated projects or other movies or whatever? The way you tell that is, Supergirl isn't necessarily a hopeful character. But in spite of all these awful things that have happened to her and around her, she's still kind to a T. But in this movie, she's really not that kind. Like, what's the kindest thing she does in this movie? Goes on this journey with Ruthie, but as we learn at the end of the movie, it's also selfishly for her dog. She doesn't do little things like on the bus when like a creature is sleeping on Ruthie's head and Ruthie tells her to stop doing that. The creature threatens her and Kara knocks out the alien at the speed of light. Things like that. You don't have anything like that in this movie. And so even though...
Well, the first thing she does.
Where she gets the sword back from her.
Yeah.
For her, sure.
But it was right at the start.
And she's nicer about it in the book anyway. Like, it frustrates me.
My last two, I guess something different in this movie is like Crypto was seeming more a part of it, or like a more real part of it. I wish we had gotten her connection to Crypto maybe a little bit earlier, because when Crypto was put in danger, I don't think I cared as much as I should have. Because obviously we love Crypto, but like if we knew when Crypto got shot, like already, or maybe right after that Kara found Crypto the day her mom died or something, and Crypto was the only thing she really had left from Krypton, and she's not like Cal because he doesn't remember anything and she does, and she lived the years there and remembers it all, and Crypto means so much to her and she's still struggling, but she kind of keeps coming back to Crypto. And also, I think, when she set that dial on her watch, I think we would have cared a lot more. When she did that, I was like...
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And she says the line, "Home is where you are, buddy." And I just don't buy it.
Yeah. You buy it a little bit more later. But it's too late. And also, there is some levity afterwards that makes it feel like, oh, maybe Kara doesn't even care as much as she should. Like she's after the bus scene, she's stopping by and she's buying popcorn and giving it to Ruthie and kind of messing around. And it's like, your dog's dying.
Yeah.
And then I kind of mentioned this earlier. It's very Guardians of the Galaxy without the amount of depth and charm that movie has.
Yep.
They're in space. She's messy and a screw up, just like the Guardians, but still trying to do the right thing. She's got headphones, listening to music, like lots of different types of creatures and interesting set locations. All very Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Techno Pirates fight is the most Guardian sequence, the most James Gunn sequence I've ever seen, not in a James Gunn movie. The entire fight, the fight on the bus with the Techno Pirates with this thing, and she's like transporting everywhere. even down to like the character design of those aliens. They are blue, but they don't look like blue Star Wars aliens. They look like blue Guardians aliens.
Yeah.
Guardians aliens have like such a specific look with this kind of 80s hair that's like messy. Those pirates look exactly the same. Their outfits, even it wouldn't surprise me at all if that actress is in the Guardians movies.
Yeah.
Like the pink aliens from Guardians 3 or the one that Chris Pratt is fucking in the first one. Like all Guardians aliens, they have like a distinct James Gunn look. That is especially here. Like that was a scene where I was like, yeah, if James Gunn directed this scene, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
By the way, in the book, it's a space dragon.
It's what?
It's a big space dragon. And it's like the most beautifully illustrated panel ever. And it's just like...
Cool. But the comparison to Guardians of the Galaxy, Supergirl does have some charm and some of that feel, but like with Guardians, they have 5 main characters, and you care about all of them.
Yeah.
More, and they're all more entertaining than the 2 that we get.
Yeah, absolutely.
In Supergirl. Guardians is also just funnier.
Yeah.
100% it's funnier.
Yeah, this movie isn't very funny.
No.
It's not. Yeah. I mean, I keep coming back to it. You know, it's the book issue. It's not. Also, it's just like it's not. They did so in the movie. They did it so that the ages were accurate, so that she's 8 years younger than, David Cornsweet's Superman, which is fine. I understand that, but in the book, she's older than him, but is younger than him because of how the planet's rotations are. It's kind of the interstellar situation where her planet, the years are longer or whatever the fuck.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I understand not wanting to explain that, but there's such an amazing line in the book. I can't quote it exactly, but it's like she saw Krypton die 3 times. But in this, she doesn't watch Krypton die at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she leaves before it dies for the final time. And she wasn't even born yet the time it died the first time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, having that...
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's fun stuff in the book that it's like, you took that out, and I understand taking some of the things out for like budget or this or that, like I just explained. Like, there are sequences that I think just could objectively be like more fun for us nerds or just people enjoying this movie. For example, okay, you want this like cool techno fight on this bus where they're doing everything everywhere. I think a space fight versus a dragon probably would have been cooler. And then another example is...
Like Shang-Chi?
In this movie, I think it would have been more appropriate.
Okay.
And then, like on the planet with the green sun, there are dinosaurs on that planet. Like doing that, like, oh no, but it's just, there's no enemy there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't believe I forgot about this. Like genuinely one of the biggest negatives in this movie. Genuinely. I think it's such a fucking problem. It comes back to what you said about it being cookie cutter, and it comes back to what you said about the tropes. Supergirl has one of the most infuriating tropes of a superhero movie I've ever seen, and it's going to get killed online for this. Ruthie spits in Krem's face in her cage, and he goes, "You're going to die for that later," and leaves.
Kill her now.
He has killed everybody else without question in this movie, but because the plot requires it, she is still alive. That is the only reason she is still alive in that movie. It makes absolutely no sense. And they don't even write something in there like we've got a special ceremony to kill you, we're gonna eat you, we're gonna rape you first. None of that. There is no reason for him to not kill her in that moment, except that the plot requires her to be still alive. That is infuriating.
Yeah, and back to the tropes, like there are a couple of things that emotionally I think hit, but we got like a dusting of it. We didn't explore it any further. The 2 that I'm talking about is with Ruthie and Kara, where Kara is trying to save her, and she kind of sees herself. She's like, my heart, my journey has led me to be this cold, vengeful person. I don't want that for you. And they kind of have that conversation when she's telling her about Krypton. And then they have it again when she convinces her not to kill him. And there was a moment where like Ruthie could have been like where Kara was like, your heart is still good, and Ruthie could have been like, so is yours, and they kind of help each other realize what the other should be. And they kind of like touched on that a little bit, but they could have hit it home so much more.
Yep.
And the same, and another reason, like David Cornsweet being like an anchor of good for her and an example whenever he's on screen, being like, "Hey, come home," and they have that conversation in the apartment at the end. I feel like that's another thing that like would have really gotten me emotional if she's kind of running away from this person that kind of reminds her of Krypton, and she knows is good and knows what she could be doing, and he's just there and he's good to her regardless, like he is to everybody else, and that kind of helps her also realize who she should be when she comes back home. And you get that a little bit, you get a dusting of it, but they don't go any further with it. I feel like both of those things could have really emotionally landed for Kara and had us care about her a little bit more and had me a bit more emotional, but they don't dive into it as much as I wanted. But yeah, didn't fully land for me.
Yeah.
Positives: Lobo, Millie, David, some of the action, some of the Krypton stuff, some of the conversations. But overall, the changes from the book and the cookie cutter nature and some of the writing left it just not as good as it could have been.
By the way, I there's still a lot of great stuff in the book that I haven't spoiled for you. I apologizing for spoiling a lot of it for you,
okay.
But I felt it needed it for this review
Sure.
me to just illustrate some of these major things. But then I'm gonna reread it, to be honest. Like I really like reminding myself of it, watching this movie twice. I was like, damn, that is such a good book. So I'm gonna reread it. So maybe when you read it and do a review of it, I'd love to have it more fresh in my mind. But there's a lot of great. Go read the book for sure. Go see the movie to form your own opinion on it. Obviously, our opinion, but I imagine if you're staying this far in, you've probably seen it. One of the worst needle drops in a movie in a long time, by the way.
I liked the seeing it from Ruthie's perspective and like the visuals of it. But yeah, the song choice was interesting.
I mean, both times I've seen this movie, I've had people walk out being like, that needle drop is like historically bad.
Yes,
and I don't think I thought that in the theater either time.
I didn't, but
I do understand, like that's something, that's going to be like a Thor Love and Thunder floating head thing. Like people are going to talk about that needle drop for years about how bad it is.
Yeah.
It is bad. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is bad. But like, they don't even use the Blondie song. That's like in all of the marketing. Use it in that scene.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Overall, like, I'm still. We've compared it to the MCU, and some people were in our comments asking like, "Are you the same on the DCU? Are you more excited or less excited?" I think I'm just as excited as I was before.
Supergirl was not going to make or break our excitement on the DCU.
No. It's not bad enough for me to be like, "Holy crap!" They can put out a Kraven the Hunter.
Sure, yeah.
Like if this is, we've gotten 4 projects: Peacemaker, Creature Commando, Superman, Supergirl. This might be at the bottom for me.
But if
this is the bottom, I'm chilling.
We're in great shape.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm still glad I saw it. Supergirl's great. Millie Alcock is great. And I am still very excited for
How many projects in a row do they have to have where it doesn't resonate you, where it really starts to lose you?
Like 3 to 5?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like more than, yeah.
They've bought your loyalty with Superman.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't imagine, even if Lanterns is ass, and even if Clayface is ass, and even if Creature Commando Season 2 is ass, there's no universe that my second or third most anticipated movie of the year next year isn't Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah, if all of those are bad and then Man of Tomorrow is mid, that will be a problem.
Yes, but I don't think it will be.
But I don't think that's gonna happen.
And it's interesting. We craft narratives for a living now, which is kind of cool to say. It's going to be interesting if the narratives that come from Supergirl and subsequent DCU projects, early on the narratives in the MCU was they can't make a good villain. They don't have a good villain. Loki and nobody else until Thanos. But it really was 2008 to 2018 we only had one good MCU. Malekith sucks and Abomination's terrible and Obadiah Stane is fine and this and that and the Ronin from Guardians isn't great. That was the narrative for the MCU for the longest time. Is the narrative in the DCU going to be if James Gunn isn't making it, it's mid?
Maybe. We'll see. I think
because everything until this point, James, he wrote bar for bar Creature Commandos. He directed a lot of Peacemaker, wrote it all. Wrote and directed Superman. Wrote and directed Man of Tomorrow, if that's a banger.
Yeah, well, we'll
if
see after
Lanterns and
and
Clayface are mid, it's going to be an interesting narrative that we are going to be proposing, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be our narrative, kind of, not ours exclusively, but a narrative that we talk about a lot on this podcast. It's interesting.
Yeah.
We will see. I'm dying to hear how the masses feel about this movie that haven't read the book. I've just talked to so many people that have read the book, and everybody's kind of unanimously like, God,
Yeah.
this could have been so much better.
Go watch it. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching us. And
We'll
thanks
see you
for
next week.
riding with us. Yeah. We love you so much.
We love you.